Don't you sometimes wish you were invisible when you're out on the street taking photos? To simply take street photos undisturbed and unnoticed? Unfortunately, we're still in 2023, and as far as I know, stealth cloaks haven't been invented yet. But I can give you a taste of it with these 5 street photography hacks for inconspicuous photography on the street. Let's jump right in. Tip number 1. The most important thing is that it is not obvious at first glance that you are taking photos once you're looking for a good shot. You can solve this with a camera bag, of course, but a few seconds delay caused by taking it out of the bag is often crucial in street photography, so you should choose to carry your camera openly. The most inconspicuous way to do this is to choose clothing in the color of your camera so that the background and camera are as low contrast and inconspicuous as possible. With this prepared, the actual photography can begin with the next tip. Tip number 2. Play the confused professor or the absolute camera beginner. Try to look like you're holding your camera for the first time today. Once you've discovered a subject of your choice and you don't want to be seen as something unpleasant or threatening, simply play as a person trying out their camera. Clumsily taking photos also signals to the other person that it's not about the photos but about the function of your camera, of your new camera. A bit of acting talent is required for this method. Just give it a try. Tip number 3. If you want to take photos inconspicuously, it is essential that you avoid any eye contact. Pretend you want to photograph the architecture behind your subject. This is of course particularly easy if you're in a quite touristy place, but even in less touristy areas, it will make you more likely to be noticed as a real estate agent taking a picture of a house, or just a crazy street artist who wants to photograph his graffiti as someone who is a street photographer. If you use this method, you can also approach the person you want to photograph and ask for a portrait. So you then have candid shots and a portrait that you can then send to the person by email. I think that's a good method to generate also new fans on the street. This method can also be easily combined with the next tip. Tip number 4. Pretend you're filming instead of taking photos. If you raise your camera and shoot for each photo, it is much more noticeable than if you hold the camera in one position throughout, so like you're making a video. I've tested this many times and it always worked to take photos without anyone complaining. It seems as if filming is much more accepted than photography in today's society. Why is that so? Tip number 5. This point is the most relaxed. Simply use an app to trigger your camera. Sorry that doesn't work for all you analog lovers out there. It looks like you would be checking something on your phone with your camera around your neck to people around you. This also works great, for example, for taking photos on the subway or in other places where it would be too conspicuous to raise your camera. And last but not least, just dare to talk to people on the street. Most people are much more open to portraits or even to post street photos than you think. This won't give you 100% authentic situation photos, of course, but you might get photos that can work very well as part of a bigger series. If you want more tips for taking photos on the street, leave me a like and a follow and look forward to the next video. Happy shooting, yours Oliver.